Welcome to Women's Leadership Success. 60%. That's the number of senior women leaders who say they've burned out right now. The highest level we've ever seen. And honestly, you already know this, don't you? Because if another meditation app or gym stipend were going to fix it, we wouldn't still be here. The truth is, most burnout solutions don't work because they don't address what your brain actually needs in order to thrive. I'm Sabrina Brahm, and this is part 2 of my conversation with neuroscientist Dr. Paul Zak, author of The Little Book of Happiness. Dr. Zak has studied thousands of brains, and what he's discovered is powerful. People who experience 6 or more key moments each day, they're not just getting by, they're having more energy, more satisfaction, and yes, real happiness. And here's the part that surprised even me. 80% of those key moments are social, not solo, not grinded out alone moments. Paul shares what he calls the Love Plus algorithm, a daily practice that actually changes your brain over time. He also shares the do not do list that frees up mental bandwidth, and why silence may be the most underrated leadership practice we have. You'll find out how burnout isn't something you push through, it's something you heal through connection. You don't have to wait for your organization to suddenly care about your well-being. You can start thriving this week. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Women's Leadership Podcast, showing you how to influence people, improve your performance, and advance your career. Brought to you by women's leadership and career expert Sabrina Brahm and womensleadershipsuccess.com. Here's your chance to meet women trendsetters leading the way to success, accomplishment, and balance in business and life. No matter if you're a manager, CEO, or entrepreneur, join Sabrina for coaching and no-nonsense advice to improve your career and bottom line.
Hello, Paul. Thanks
Hello.
for being with us.
Thank you, Sabrina.
So we're going to talk about the Little Book of Happiness, and I'm wondering what inspired you to write this book.
Yeah, I spent most of my professional career developing knowledge and technologies so that people can live longer, happier, and healthier lives. And I'm a very practical person, so I thought for all this published research, for all the consulting I've done, for all the technology I've built, how do I boil this down into a simple playbook so that people can just have a way to live happier lives?
Do you live a happy life?
I do, but unfairly. Unfairly because I've always been a happy person, and I know some people are not that happy. But I try to make really good decisions to be happy, and one of my superpowers is the do not do list. I'm very strict on saying no to a lot of things, so I can do the small number of things either I'm really good at and enjoy, or so I open up space to do things that are just pleasurable for me.
That's great. And I'm happy most of the time, and I wasn't earlier in my life, so I've learned how to be happy.
And that's a key point, that we can adapt, right? We can learn how to be happy. And a lot of that's kind of reframing. But from the brain perspective, once we reframe and we see something, say, not as a stressor, but as a challenge, then we train ourselves to be able to be emotionally open and really have those valuable experiences that build up our happiness.
Mm-hmm. How does the brain experience happiness? Is it different from pleasure or excitement?
Yeah, I think all those are related neurologically. It's this kind of acute state of a positive mood, high energy. The book has the title Happiness in it, but it's really about thriving, which is how do I extend that over a longer period of time, like over my lifetime. So people who are thriving consistently have positive moods and high energy. And the book is based on the distributed neuroscience technology we developed in an app called Six, which for people watching on video can actually get it for free on the QR code on the screen, that we measured thousands of people continuously, 1 second frequency all day, and the app identifies those experiences you're having that are most valuable to you. And we've shown in published research that people who have 6 or more of these high value experiences are truly thriving. They're engaged in life. So sadly, Sabrina, I'm a pro-stress person. We actually need stress to thrive. We need to have challenges. We need to engage with people and need to do new things. So one of the sort of secrets of the way the brain works is that once we've done something enough, we acclimate to it and it becomes less valuable to us. The first time you go ziplining through the rainforest of Costa Rica, awesome. The second time, pretty good. The 50th time, So to thrive, we have to actually have these challenges, right? So chronic stress is bad. I'm not saying that, but we need to stretch ourselves. So we do that through travel. We do that through meeting new people. We do that through learning a new skill, taking a class, volunteering, lots of ways to stretch ourselves. But it's really important to continue to reinforce the brain in these 2 core components we talked about the last podcast, being present and being emotionally open. So if we think about people we want to be around, are we want to be around people who's distracted and they're not talking to us? No. And do we want people who don't share their emotions with us? No, we don't want to do that. Like if I just said, like I'm having a tough day, I'm like, oh, that's terrible. That's not a friend. That's a robot or something, right? So we have to be able to share our emotional states with others. And recent research out of Oxford University showed that about 50% of our happiness is due to the quality of our social relationships, which is great.
That's astounding.
But what we brought to that is now we have a way to measure that. So we find that for these high value, high immersion moments, we call these key moments during the day, that about 80% of those are social, right? It's the people that give me that ability to be present and emotionally open. Sometimes I will get key moments. I write every day because that's part of my job. I will get a key moment when I'm really in a great writing project and it's creative and I'm enjoying it. And then, a free app will show me, at a key moment, writing. Oh, that's great because I like writing. But mostly it's when I'm out at a conference. I live in San Diego and I was doing I was asked to give a talk to some Navy SEALs. Yes, I'm going to do that. Sure. These are freaking heroes. And so, I got like 4 key moments in the course of 2 hours having dinner with these Navy SEALs and giving a little talk. Come on. What's more fun, at least as a guy, what's more fun than hanging out with a bunch of freaking SEALs? Like that was awesome. So, so I think of the app as the reminder and my book as a little reminder. It's your grandma reminding you, hey, honey, go talk to the humans. Go be nice to people. Go be open. Go show care for your friends. And I think we get so busy sometimes we forget how important those social relationships are. And that really degrades our ability to be good social partners at work, at home, with our friends.
So I don't have the app. I want to get it. It sounds great. And I assume I can put that up on the show notes so people
Please do.
Okay, we'll do that. But if I don't have the app, what is it I'm feeling in my body that tells me I'm having a key moment?
Love this question. What a good neuroscience question. So we found in the published research is that the systems in the brain that give us these high value moments that help us grow as human beings and thrive are deep in the brainstem. So when we ask people, what was your most important moment yesterday? They don't know because it's hidden from our conscious awareness. So many times people will do something that they think is really fun for them that doesn't give their brain a lot of value. And that could be, again, because they've done it many times and they like doing it, but it's not the new thing. The brain does like, again, to be stretched, to have these sort of challenges. And so that's why we have technology. But in general, if you want to hack the system, which it sounds like you do, good for you. I'm a brain hacker too. It's really being around people that we care about, that we love. The best hack is a dog. So we created dogs to be our perfect companions. So if you're down, if you need a key moment, go play with your dog. I mean, if you've got one, or just, anyone with a dog will let you play with them, it turns out. So find that dog, find that children are great too, a child or a grandchild, get a hug from a child. We're almost always going to get a key moment. You won't always get a key moment with your spouse or your roommate. Why? not because you don't love them, but because your brain has figured out this person is in your love community and it doesn't want to expend the metabolic resources to produce a key moment. So people sometimes worry that, oh, when I hang out with my wife or husband, I'm not getting a lot of key moments. Oh yeah, your brain's already figured out if you've been married for a while. If you're a newlywed, you're probably getting key moments every 3 seconds, right? But if you've been married for more than a couple of years, again, because the brain wants to save energy, it has already used a more efficient system. The term of art is potentiated. It's a potentiated pathway that says, my wife Sabrina is wonderful, and I know that I don't need to spend the resources to produce this key moment. So it's about learning about yourself.
Right. When I'm feeling the key moment, I'm willing to answer it too. I don't want to just put you on the spot. But what I'm wondering is, what am I feeling in my body? If I think about myself, I have a huge dahlia garden, and just going out and looking at the dahlias, I feel some excitement. I feel happy. I feel good, uplifted. And if I meet somebody and they make me laugh, that's usually a key moment for me, especially if it's a belly laugh.
Yeah.
But what about for you? If you don't have the Apple Watch on, how are you going to know you had a key moment?
You generally won't. And that's why sometimes when people first start using the app, they'll say, hey, I did this. I went and played soccer with my friends and didn't get any key moments. That's okay. Yeah, maybe you were just having an off day, or maybe, you played soccer so much. I don't know why. So again, I think that the point of the app is to learn about yourself and then lean into those activities that give you new key moments. You're really not going to feel anything. So we know deeply about this network app called Immersion that values social emotional experiences, not only measuring it, but we can manipulate it pharmacologically. I can induce a key moment using drugs. Hey, it turns out you can pay people to take drugs in your lab. Who knew? For science, pharmaceuticals, not illegal drugs. And so we can actually activate this pathway and induce key moments by manipulating either dopamine or oxytocin, these key neurochemicals. But what we want to do is allow people to do that naturally. And it's to find those experiences and those people where you are present and emotionally open and you're getting the same back from them. Can I give you a concrete example? I don't want to go too long, but
please.
Recently, I better suppress the name, but a very high-end luxury retailer was using our technology to figure out the 80-20 rule. Why 20% of their salespeople were responsible for 80% of the sales? Great question. So this is high-end retail. So you don't want to have the customer come in and go, hey, we're going to give you an Apple Watch to wear and measure your brain. That would freak people out. But because these high-value moments are contagious, they measured the activity, the neurologic activity of the salespeople, and they could predict with 80+% accuracy which customers bought based on the neurologic response, the value of the salesperson. And indeed, that was a linear relationship. That is, the higher the neurologic immersion of the salesperson, the more money the customer spent, because we're engaging with each other in such a positive way. So we're sharing that, in a real sense, sharing that energy with each other, that emotional energy. And so it's really reaching out to others, investing in other people. Because I believe in the do not do list, I'd rather have a smaller group of really close friends than a large group of acquaintances. And so for my close friends, I make sure I invest in those relationships. I set up happy hours. I set up trips. We do, I'm an outdoors guy. So we do all kinds of crazy outdoor adventures and get muddy and sometimes get hurt. And, all kinds of crazy stuff happens to us and you really bond together. So I think that if there's any takeaway of how to be happier, invest in relationships.
In I listened to several of your talks, and in one of your talks, you were talking about Love Plus.
Yeah.
So explain that.
Yeah, I'm a math science guy, so I've tried to put everything in an algorithm. And so a few years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, Time Magazine asked me to write like 3 sentences on New Year's resolutions, which I'm kind of against. If you want to make a change, just make a change. Anyway, you got 3 lines, and like, how do I encapsulate what I've learned about living a happy and fulfilled life? And so Love Plus is my algorithm, which is I try to ensure that every interaction I have adds love to the world. Doesn't remove it. I'm pro-social. I'm trying to make sure it's a great experience for the person I'm interacting with. And I try to reflect on that at night when I go to sleep. Like, was I in the love plus quadrant today for most of my interactions, or wasn't I in the love minus quadrant? And I think, because we are so sensitive to the emotional states of others, if I'm coming in and I'm giving and I'm investing and I'm caring for others, they generally would do that for me. And it, just as an aside, one of the wonderful things, I have a tech startup in the tech space, is this real ethos because it's so hard to be successful, right? Most startups fail, is to really help other people. And when I'm busy, and sometimes it's hard to meet with another entrepreneur and offer him or her advice or try to make connections. But let me tell you how many hundreds and hundreds of people in the 8 years we've had our company who have willingly, you should actually be selling to so-and-so, or I know a guy at Meta, or I know a guy at Google, or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, I'd love a intro. Oh yeah, this guy's going to love your technology. Like it's so kind. So I think that kind of paying it forward and being a good social creature fits into the love plus paradigm.
In the little book of happiness, you share daily practices backed by neuroscience. Which one has made the biggest difference in your life?
That's such an unfair question.
Okay.
But I'll answer it. I was thinking about that this morning before we got on. I have to say, I think it's silence. I think for me, I get so much good thinking done if I can just be quiet and let things come to me. This is like how we get so many good ideas in the shower. So I think I always try to algorithmicize everything. So I try to build in this thinking time on my calendar. So I just block it. Sometimes I call it writing time, but it may just be thinking time. So I try to block out time just to be silent and let ideas flow.
Yeah. And especially in today's world, there's so little opportunity to do that unless you shut your phone off, shut the TV off, and make a real effort.
But you can do it.
Sense.
So one of my tricks, if I may, is to walk in silence. If I'm walking that I don't feel like, if I'm sitting now, I'll probably fall asleep. But if I just kind of walk around my neighborhood or walk in a park or something, I have a little bit of stimulation, and also the walking helps oxygenate your brain. So now I'm getting good perfusion of my brain, and that's a great way to get ideas. And since I still have my phone with me, I can just jot down whatever that idea is or record it. So walking in silence has been a big boon for me.
Yeah, and even talking to somebody and not saying anything, just listening and just being silent, and so much will emerge from the other person because they don't usually have that opportunity to really think through their ideas.
I'll tell you how I do that, which is sometimes when I have even my close friends, I will sometimes prep questions for them if I know I'm meeting them for happy hour, dinner, like something I've been thinking about that I think, these people would be really interesting. So I want to give them a stage, an opportunity to share all the books they read, all the experiences that they've had with me. And maybe I disagree, maybe I don't, but you're right. The first thing is to shut up and let them talk and tell me why I always want to know why I'm wrong, right? That's how you learn something. I love to be wrong. That means, I've learned something new. That's awesome.
Your wife probably really likes that too, right?
Well, you have to ask her.
What surprised you most in your research about sustaining happiness long term?
Wonderful question. What we found is that perhaps like in your life, that there's a positive age gradient with happiness. That is, as we get older, it's not only people are getting happier, it's easier to get happier. And what we've shown in our published research is that's due to a couple of things. One is, as we get older, we are better at emotionally regulating. When I was 25, you cut me off in traffic, I would, be so mad. Now I'm like, I just don't care. I don't really care anymore. So I'm a better emotional regulator. The second thing is that we've shown that people with a history of investing in relationships have actually different brain activity. They have a greater propensity to have these key moments than people who don't have a history of helping others. So we find people in helping professions, doctors, teachers, nurses, actually have an advantage because they're really directly servicing others. We're all helping others. Work is all about helping other people. That's why you get paid to do something. But really directly helping kind of people who acutely need help. or those with a long history of volunteering, for example, we see different brain activity. So again, they've adapted to being better social creatures, and because of that, they experience more joy in their lives. So it means we should start now, right? Start investing in people and being a good helper. So at my age, when people ask me like, what gives me the most joy or whatever, I'm like, I think of myself now as a service dog, right? So you need help, you just whistle, I'll come running. I love to help people. It makes me happy. And it just become part of my personality now. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a beautiful image. How can immersion help people recover from burnout and disconnection? And I feel like your last answer kind of relates to this. So if I'm not connected to other people, burnout and disconnection is going to happen a lot more.
For sure.
And to heal from that, I need to get more social. Is there a way to do that? How can I step into that if I'm listening to this podcast, but I don't usually connect with people, or I'm burnout?
Yeah, hack the system. Yeah, the first thing is to make sure that you have enough bandwidth to do that. So take a break, take a career sabbatical, take a vacation so that you actually have the bandwidth and bring that kind of stress tone down, that kind of level of anxiety. And then really just volunteer to do things. So I moved recently and I signed up, because I'm outdoors, I signed up to be like a volunteer trail clearing person. So it's amazing that if you're out there working and people are hiking or riding their mountain bikes, they all say thank you to you and you meet a bunch of people. So volunteer. Everyone needs help. And so, yeah, just kind of be open to opportunity. So that's inconsistent with something I said before, which is my superpower is the do not do list. But I'm trying to open up space by not doing all the junk I don't want to do, by having a space where something new and unusual can happen. And it takes practice. Here's something I started doing years ago, which is just saying hello to people in elevators, like when you're at a conference or a hotel or something. And it's really interesting. People should try it. About half the people I talk to freak out, which somehow makes me happy. And the other half, you have this nice 20-second conversation like, oh, where are you coming in from? Oh, I was in an elevator. I heard these women speaking what I thought was Dutch. I'm like, is that Dutch? Because it sounds like Dutch. I'm like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know. I've been in Amsterdam. I speak some German. And they're sort of like, where do you live? Oh, we live in Amsterdam. What are you here for a conference? Oh, I'm at a different conference. Okay, well, that was nice. So I'm just training myself to be a connector. And by the way, I met my wife on an airplane because she was sitting in front of me and ordered a special meal, and I started talking to her. So 30 years, 2 kids later, talking to the humans, there you go. And I'm an introvert, by the way, Sabrina. You can't tell now because I'm talking nonstop, but I'm an absolute introvert. So after we finish recording, I'm going to curl up on a ball for an hour and not say any words.
Well, I'm an introvert too. And I think about when I go to conferences, used to be, it was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Here's all these people. I don't know anybody. And then I decided that my job was, I was the hostess and I had to make somebody feel more comfortable. And so I look for somebody that nobody's talking to and I walk up. My job is to make them more comfortable. I've had the most incredible conversations. Many of them are like presidents of companies, or they're going to be the keynote speaker, or there's something really interesting about these people. And I've overcome my shyness by just pretending that I have to make them comfortable. So
that's a very Love Plus approach. So yeah, good for you. And then it's so pleasant, right? When you get used to that. But we can train ourselves to get better at that, approaching strangers.
Yeah. The other thing, I ask people in stores how their day's going. And I remember a few weeks ago asking a guy, how's your day going? And he goes, okay. He said, I've been working for 10 hours and no one else has said anything to me this whole time. And I thought, so that encouraged me to just be more friendly with these people that I don't know.
Sure. That guy needs a hug, for sure.
Right.
At least some appreciation.
What patterns have you seen in people who are happy and high performers? Have you seen something different in them?
Yeah, so those two things tend to run together. So high performers tend to be happy. They have high job satisfaction. Because of that, they tend to go home with higher energy. And so if you can create a job opportunity where you have enough autonomy where you can kind of control your career. So we call this locus of control. You feel like you control your life. That's very energy producing and also improves performance. So I really think about kind of modulating that energy flow. So a couple things to think about. One is every 60 to 90 minutes, take a break, stand up, move for 5 minutes, right? So our bodies are not set up to be sitting in chairs for so long. If you get old enough like me, then every hour you got to pee anyway. So I just drink water all day and I got to pee. So there you go. I'm totally transparent here, Sabrina. So drink water, be hydrated, then you have to get up and at least walk to the bathroom and then say hi to 2 people, right, when you go there. And that's pleasant. But the second is, again, to think of yourself as a service animal, right? So there was research published by Harvard Business School showing that engineers in Silicon Valley who socialized more at work were more productive. How can that be? Because they built all those social connections. So when they were stuck on a problem, they knew who to talk to, and they were also helping their colleagues to solve their problems. And so if you think of yourself as a problem solver, then you get embedded in a network of everyone working together to solve problems together.
Right. And also if you're doing that, your energy is going to be up. So you're going to do your work better, right?
Yeah, for sure. But you can still do silence, right? You can still, I love I have the noise canceling headphones. And so if I'm in a co-working space or a coffee shop, sometimes I'll just put those on. So I'm in my own little bubble for an hour, and then maybe I want to talk to people. So I think in the sort of a hot desking, open office space, that sometimes is really nice. We actually have published research that the open office space, people are more productive. They put in more cognitive energy. They enjoy work more. So we need openness. So co-working, yes. Coffee shops, yes. Or, being in an office, but not an office with those terrible little half walls.
So since you've proven today that happiness is measurable, how would you redesign or reshape leadership development and culture?
Well, that's a whole another podcast. I think it's really, I think the modern view, not just my view, but lots of research showing that I'm really thinking about leadership as that inverted pyramid, right? So I think as we have much more horizontal organizations, that a leader's job is to be of service to others, to help others be successful. And there's a couple tricks I found that worked really well. One is that 5-minute daily stand-up huddle. I want to know what you do yesterday, what are you doing today, and where do you need help, right? So again, my job as a leader is to solve problems. And then the second is to use adjectives. So by that I mean, often when we walk in the office, say, "Hi, Sabrina, how are you? How are you?" But if I put an adjective in, if I change that conversation, "Oh, hi, Sabrina, you look happy, sad, worried, tired." Right now I'm opening up this emotional channel, which as a leader gives me so much more information about you. I'm a big believer in not having presentism. If you're not able to perform today and your projects are on task or whatever, your team's working fine, because your kid had the flu or your wife yelled at, go home. Come back tomorrow with energy, right? So I think it's a really caring thing to do. And it says, I'm invested in you long-term as a human being, not a piece of human capital. Mm-hmm. So that adjective is surprisingly powerful, just to show that you recognize this individual as a human being. Mm-hmm. By the way, for leaders, those human beings are going to have good days and bad days. They don't even know they're having good days and bad days because they're tired or they ate some weird food last night. And so don't expect people to be consistent. You expect them to vary. Now, if you're having 2 bad days, 14 bad days in a row, we should have a conversation. Then we need to talk. But if you have a bad day here or there, we all do. And by the way, you as leader also have a bad day. So I think one of the things I've learned the most about working with a whole variety of individuals, from criminal psychopaths to psychiatric patients to healthy, normal individuals, is that we're all on the spectrum on multiple dimensions, and we're all going to be a little weird some of the time, or maybe all of the time, and that's lovely and wonderful. And if you can, put people in a channel where that weirdness is valuable to the organization or society, those people can flourish as well. And it also means that we're also weirdos as leaders, and that's okay. We're allowed.
Yeah, I don't normally do it, but I can think of one time when something was going on. I was really not feeling great emotionally, not physically. Mm-hmm. And I had a coaching call, and I said to the person, I'm just not able to be there for you today, and we need to reschedule. It was like I didn't want to sit there and act like I was paying attention when I knew I couldn't do it. So,
And I'm sure that your client respected that, right? Like,
yeah.
I just can't do it today. Had some life events. I think the great thing about COVID is we sort of realized that, like, life can interact with our work and vice versa, and it's all right. The dog's barking, the baby's crying, Amazon's at the door. That's all okay. We'll get through this as long as we are focused and we have great leadership that tells us where we're going and why it's important. Then we see a lot of these key moments that make us happy at work, more than at leisure, which is interesting. Why?
Yeah.
Because at work, I'm of service to other people, I'm around other people, and I have a goal. Where at leisure, sometimes if I'm watching the game on TV, I don't really have a goal, I'm just hanging out. And that's totally fine, no problem with that. So work is a great way to get satisfaction. It reminds me of, I'm sure you have colleagues in, Europe who, I get these autoresponders like, I'm going to be gone for 6 weeks on vacation. I'm like, 6 weeks? Holy crap. I can barely do a week. I have 3 jobs. I love all 3 of them. I work 7 days a week because I just love it, not because I have to, because I'm just turned on by it. So let's not degrade the value we get from work and from being of service to others at work as something kind of bad. So a lot of us have these wonderful jobs that we love doing, and we get satisfaction from it.
So what gives you the deepest sense of happiness and meaning in your own work?
What a wonderful question. I think it's really now service. I think as a parent, I'm always at service of my children. As a spouse, I try to be of service to my wife. And professionally, I want to be of service to those people around me. And for me, I love solving problem. I'm a creative problem-solving personality. So I love a hard problem to work on. And if I can solve a hard problem for somebody, best day ever.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's just intense curiosity about everything. That just makes things so much fun. I really
felt like you
that.
were intensely curious about me, and I so appreciate that. You were very present for me, and it was just a joy to be on here with you.
Thank you. It was a joy having you here. I have one last question for you, but before I ask that, how would people get a hold of you if someone wants to have you speak at their company or find out more about your research?
Thank you. My email is paul@getimmersion.com, immersion with an I, get immersion. Or you just Google me. I'm available. So thank you for that nice ability to plug what I'm doing.
Okay, and also the
6 app, which is free in the app in the Play Store. It's called 6, or the website is your6.com, your and the number 6.com.
Cool. Definitely want to try that out.
Yeah.
Can you give one suggestion for people listening, a call to action, an action that they can take after listening to this program that they could do that will begin to open them up to more happiness?
Here's an easy one, or maybe a hard one. Tell one person who's not in your family how much you care about them, honestly, right? If appropriate, if you have gray hair like me, Sabrina, I can say I love you to my dear friends. Tell someone you love them today. Or you can use the word care if love is too weird. Like, you're really important to me. I want to make sure you know that. Oh, that's the best.
It really is an incredible thing to hear, too, when someone shares how they feel about you, because we don't normally hear it. It's a great idea. I love it. Thanks so much, Paul. I really appreciate you being here today.
It was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Thank you for tuning in. If you found value today, please subscribe and leave a review to help other leaders discover these insights. For weekly advancement strategies, subscribe to the Missing Link Leadership Link, my 5-minute newsletter delivering tactics top executives use to increase visibility and command respect in meetings. Find it at sabrinabrahm.com/missing leadership link. Would you like to advance your career faster? Coaching with me will help. Contact me at sabrinabrahm.com about coaching or joining my exclusive Impact Executive Leadership Mastermind. Follow me on LinkedIn for daily leadership tips. Just search Sabrina Brahm, Executive Leadership Coach. Until next time, keep elevating your presence and advancing your career.
Thank you for joining your host, Sabrina Brahm, on another Women's Leadership Podcast. If you have questions or comments, you can email her at sabrina@sabrinabrahm.com. Since 1989, Sabrina and her team have helped hundreds of women managers, business leaders, and entrepreneurs with valuable trainings, articles, books, and executive coaching. For additional tips, interviews, and free access to Great Leaders Today mini course, visit www.womensleadershipsuccess.com.